It is the high wire act of the sport. Relief pitching is the most volatile position in baseball, and yet this season is off to a stunning start where the two top players at the position, arguably, have struggled and have been demoted in one case, maybe in both, at least until they can, as Aaron Boone of the Yankees says, get right. So what is happening with Devin Williams and Emmanuel Clase? Let's do a little digging in. In an era of max effort, max stuff pitching, relief pitching stands out as the extreme, high velocity, explosive action. It's almost in the job description, not conducive for longevity. Think about Craig Kimbrell, Aroldis Chapman, Josh Hader, even Edwin Diaz. You can go from #1 in the game to almost unusable in a matter of days. That's what makes Devin Williams and Emmanuel Clase and their situation stand out. They have been both explosive and reliable. Now, we usually don't use ERA plus for relievers because the numbers are so absurd, but this is park-adjusted ERA. 100 is league average. And here are the relief pitching leaders over the last 4 years. 253, the strength of 2.5 men. 100 is league average. Clase way out ahead of everyone else. Then Devin Williams is second. So it's Clase, Williams, 1 and 2. Then you get to Felix Bautista, Blake Trinan, Tyler Holton. This is 2021 to 2024. 1 and 2, right there. Both these guys. And not only have they been excellent for over the last 4 years, they've been excellent each and every year. Check out the innings and the ERAs year to year. We'll use ERA now because it's easier to digest for most people. For Williams, a 2.50, then sub-2 each and every year for 3 years. For Clase, 1.29, 1.36. He jumps over 3. And then last year, the incredible season, a 0.61. Historic. That is what makes this season so stunning. Williams, traded in the offseason to the Yankees, struggled from day one, where he barely escaped against his old club, the Brewers. And then over the last week, blew a 4-run lead and a 1-run lead. He has an ERA over 11 in 8 innings. Clase also struggled from day one, blowing a lead in his first appearance of the year. He gave up runs in 5 of his first 11 outings. Clase now has an ERA over 7 in 11-plus innings. It's a steep and drastic fall for, again, the two top run preventers in the entire sport. Now, you can dig deep into the metrics for each pitcher. You can look at heat maps. This is normally what we do on the show. We might get into that in the specifics in a few minutes, but I'll cut to the chase. Their velocity is pretty much fine. Their confidence is not. For relievers, more than anyone else, it's a confidence game. You need to lead and dominate, and something for now has been broken. Last year's playoffs, Clase came off his historic season, gave up just 5 earned runs all year. In the playoffs, he was roughed up in 4 different games. Bottom line, he gave up 5 runs in 6 months, then he allowed 8 runs in 8 innings. As for Williams, it's a shorter story. He saved Game 2 of the wild-card series against the Mets and then came on in Game 3 with a 2-run lead in the 9th, a chance to eliminate the Mets and move the Brewers into the division series. Instead, with two outs and 2 strikes, Pete Alonso came up and clubbed a 3-run home run. Until the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam in that World Series, this right here was the hit of the year. Maybe it still deserves to be. For a guy like Williams, who has a spectacular track record, that's a one-punch knockout loss. It's hard to absorb. You can get into the weeds, you can look at command and sequencing, but both guys are essentially 2-pitch pitchers. You see this 4 here for Clase, but he's barely throwing the 4-seamer and the sinker, barely. Clase, cutter, slider. Devin Williams is heater, changeup, fastball, changeup, that's it, except it's changeup, 4-seamer. They do not have a deep repertoire to fall back on. They each have 2 pitches that work in connection with each other, and that's it. Commitment and confidence in the 2 pitches and how they work off each other are required. So it sounds very simplistic to say, but both start closers, were they broken in the playoffs? Well, it's fair to say this. It appears 2 very similar performers absorbed pretty good collisions last year, from which they have yet to recover. You can see it in real time. When they start to struggle, there's blood in the water, and there's no pity in Major League Baseball. We're all human, even the very best. Let us know what you think. Let me ask you, who is the best reliever? If it's not these 2 guys, and you can say, hey, by the end of the year, it's going to be Clase, end of the year, it's going to be Williams. You could be right, but who is the best reliever in Major League Baseball? Let us know what you think on X at MLB Now. Anthony Recker is here. Anthony, good to see you again.
Great to see you.
Tom Verducci is here again. I thought you would have heat maps and all sorts of things. Tom, are you going psychological? Are you going mechanical? Where are you going on this?
I'm buying a lot of what you said about confidence. I'm not sure it really details or dates to the postseason struggles. For Williams, I think it's a case of getting to New York, right? It's a heartbreaking period for anybody. You've seen it many times with free agents, guys get traded there. You better get off to a good start. He looks uncomfortable on the mound. He has no fastball command. He's throwing that fastball less, and he's getting behind on counts. That fastball, to me, is what the changeup works off of. He gets a lot of takes, called strikes on that pitch, not getting him, getting behind the counts. That's what I see from him. And yes, the fastball's actually down a tick. So when you're 94 to 93, that doesn't help matters at all either. But you touched on something I wanted to follow up on, Brian. Two pitch guys. Today's pitching world is so much about having a menu of pitches to work against righties and lefties, right? We see many pitchers adding the two-seamer to complement the four-seamer, the cutter. And these are two guys who are relying on stuff. They're not necessarily attacking the weakness of a hitter the way a lot of pitchers do. When I look at Tanner Scott, Paul Sewald, Clase, Williams, these two-pitch guys, you better command the baseball exactly where it's going, because you're too easy of a solve. I say easy just because the options are limited. So without proper command, and the same with Clase. If you look at Clase's heat maps, he's not putting that cutter where he normally does. It's actually the same area as the slider, too. So everybody's looking out and away on him. He likes to elevate that pitch, especially even inside to right-handers. So to me, it's about confidence more than stuff. I will begin with that. I think you're right. I'm not sure if it goes back to the postseason.
Okay.
But if you're a two-pitch guy without confidence, you're going to lose your role.
And it's something, Anthony, where they're not coming off of, hey, well, they're competent major leaguers. These were the top two guys. To see them fall where Joel Sherman, our own Joel Sherman, he wrote this in the Post saying that, because I always like that they're like field goal kickers. Actually, Joel's was better. Relief pitchers are the air traffic controllers of baseball. Either you land the plane or it's very, very bad. Like it's one or the other for these guys.
No, absolutely. I mean, and you go back to what you said to start this segment. It was confidence or mechanics. What comes first, chicken or the egg, right? Like, it's both. And at times, the mental side, of having some failure in the playoffs, in the biggest moment of essentially their careers, all of a sudden they didn't come through. You get to the season, you fast forward, you go through spring training. No, that's not really a huge, it's a driving factor through the offseason. I got to get better. I'm remembering what happened last. I need to get better. Then you get on the mound for the first time in the regular season, and if you're not successful right out of the gate, and something goes wrong, does your mind immediately go back to what happened at the end of last year? That can be an issue. Then you can get into, okay, now my mechanics might break down. Or maybe I start to fall into a bad pattern. To your point with Clase, when you look at his heat map, because we can look at his heat map, he's not throwing that cutter to the same spot that he was last year. When he's right, this is from a catcher's perspective, so that's a right-handed hitter at the plate. Look at those cutters and look at where he's throwing them. He is he's all over the inner half. He is making sure that 99 looks like 105. Then he'll go down and away with the slider. This year, it's middle to down and away. To your point, the exact same location he's trying to throw his slider. And then you can even go back to what failed him in the playoffs last year, that at bat against Aaron Judge. If you remember that was pitch by pitch. He tries to go in right there with the fastball, misses middle, and then he lives down and away. And where does he get hurt? Out over the plate. You allow a guy like Aaron Judge or any major league hitter to get comfortable with your 99-mile-an-hour cutter, they can make you pay. They can go out over the plate. They feel confident that they can stick that elbow out there and know, you know what? I'm just going to be thinking away. I'm going to go out over the plate. Boom, you have success. He has failure, and it's this seesaw that he's playing now. He's got to figure that out.
I want to get in quickly here, because you brought it up, because I remember, Craig Kimbrell went from about the best run preventer in the history of the sport to you got to get him out of there. You brought up Josh Hader. When Josh Hader got traded, and he'd already struggled with the Brewers for a couple of games, but then he went to San Diego, and San Diego's thinking, I thought we just got the best pitcher in the game, and he's a disaster. So it fascinates me how much it turns and how severe that turn can be.
Yeah, I mean, 2022, you think at the trade deadline, if you're San Diego, you're getting not only a great reliever, but a guy who's been so unbelievably consistent that okay, a couple things went wrong right before we made this move. He had a couple of bad outings, 3 outings where he gave up 1 run, and then a couple where he gave up multiple runs. You think, okay, this has to be just like a one-time glip, right? It's gone now. No, he gets there, and for 8 successive appearances, it was almost a disaster. What happened? This was the guy, we were paying for a guy that was going to be consistent, and he completely lost it for a little while. Mental leads to some mechanical, because he talked about mechanics. I think mental can lead to those mechanical issues.
And just very briefly, by the end of the season, are we looking back at this and remember when those guys struggled early in the year? Or are we saying, wow, this was a lost year?
No, most likely. I mean, you could be a little concerned about Clase's workload. You put up those numbers there. He's throwing 70 to 80 innings every year, high-pressure innings. That adds up. But again, going back to Kimbrel, Hader, 2 more 2-pitch guys. In Kimbrel's case, when the stuff goes down a little bit, you're even more vulnerable. I think Hader's fine. He got back to where he was. Yeah. But again, if you're a 2-pitch guy, you better be precise with your command.